Now, to know more about the application Chakap, we have the Chief Operating Officer from Chakap, Cecilia Ong, with us today. Good morning, Cecilia.
Good morning.
Now, first of all, let me ask you, as the Chief Operating Officer of Chakap, how many languages can you speak?
Great one.
Talking about national languages, only about three.
Oh, that's not bad. Three is good.
Yeah,
Three is
that's
good.
good.
Three fluent languages, which
Yeah.
is what? Indonesian?
Indonesia, English, and Mandarin.
Well, that's great. That's great. Okay, so Cecile, can you please describe to us again what Chakap is?
Yeah, thank you. So Chakap is an edtech platform. Basically, we are working into the segment of languages and upskilling. Upskilling including much more into vocational skills.
Okay.
What kind of vocational skills that we provide much more is towards the top demand skills demanded by the work field itself. And
Okay.
languages itself, we are not only focusing on the general languages, but into a more specific, for example, language for specific purpose, whatever the languages needed, English for hospitality, English for finance, so we specific into the job field, so then the one who are studying the languages can apply it quickly and more faster,
Okay.
instead of they are only learning the general side. That's what we fill in, and our mission is to providing the equal access, because as we have known, Indonesia as the archipelago country,
Okay.
the access towards remote area and 3T areas, it's one of our mission as well, to go towards that, so then all the Indonesian have the same or equal access towards whatever, for them to get a better job and employed.
Okay. Better job, remote access, fast learning. I like that. Now, before we go into the more hard questions, back then we see the East Nusa Tenggara of Chakap state. Now, what memories can you remember about Chakap going to East Nusa Tenggara? What are you doing there? Can you elaborate on that, Cecile?
Yes, as far as we know, East Nusa Tenggara is one of the tourism spot or
Yeah.
hospitality. So we are partnering with some partners together, developing what's so-called English for hospitality course. So
Okay.
then the local community there, whenever they have learned about the hospitality things, and we were very simple. We aim just then they can sell the things they want to produce, they can introduce the tourism spot there, and
Yeah.
we are applying hyper localization. What's so-called hyper localization,
what
which
is that?
means let's say English building in East Nusa Tenggara and in Lombok and Bali kind of have a different.
Okay.
So when the one that introduced the terms, the things that we try to elaborate, it's kind of different.
Okay.
So then they can apply it, and they can directly communicate to the tourists,
Okay.
foreign tourists, whatever, and gain a higher tips, a higher income. So that's one
How
of
was the
program.
response so far?
We are quite blessed because with our campaign Cakap Untuk Bangsa, it's one of our commitment as a startup as well, to contribute to the local community. So
Okay.
we gain a lot of support from NGO organizations, corporate CSR,
Okay.
to support us together. We built the local communities.
That's a
I could
great
say,
idea.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, Cecile, could you please explain to our audience what features does Chakap provides to enhance this learning experience? How does Chakap work actually?
Yeah.
As what I have mentioned just now, much more towards localization and adaptation, I could say Chakap delivers customization in accordance to the needs, not only from the demand or the top demand skills, as in vocational or languages for specific purpose, but also the platform. So we apply and we offer platform. We have one-on-one, we have one-to-many, and even a self-paced learning. It's kind of like a mass learning platform. So then it can be accommodated in accordance to the need of the student, whether they need a mass one, which they can learn in a very further path as
Yes.
well, or they can have a more private for them to be advanced in
Which
whatever
one
they
is
do.
actually the most popular class do people choose at the moment?
I could say quite balanced right
Quite
now for
balanced.
the self-paced and also the private
Okay.
because different people, different needs. For example, like expat, they much more need a private class so that they can save time in commuting, etc. But then in terms of vocational skills,
Okay.
people often tend to go to the self-paced learning platform so then they can obtain much more skills in a
Yes.
timely manner.
Wow. That is fluent information there for Chakap. You've been doing this so well, Cecile. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but Chakap started in 2019, is it?
Yeah.
So we learned about the English for hospitality. We learned about hyperlocalization. We learned about Chakap untuk Bangsa. Now, what is the latest feature that you have in 2023, the newest that you would like to introduce today?
As a post-pandemic adaptation, for sure, there's a trend or there's a demand to go towards the offline learning. So
Okay.
we try to offer blended learning right now and accommodate to the post-pandemic adaptation.
Okay.
And we believe because we start to apply some of the kids learning in the blended and apply to some of the activity. So not only learning languages or skills, but then they are introduced to a certain learning method. We call it expert.
Okay.
So then the student can directly accommodate with the pedagogic things
Yes.
that we have taught to the teacher, how to teach the student in a different years old ages, and yeah.
Okay.
So how does this blended learning work? And is it only available in Jakarta or also outside Jakarta is also available?
Yeah, very soon.
It's very soon, so it's coming up.
A teaser,
Yes.
yes, coming
You got a
soon.
spoiler.
We are having certain, let's say, Kids Academy. We call it Chakap Kids Academy very soon to
Okay.
be launched to the public, hopefully. So, and then afterwards, after the blended learning things that we provide, our Kids Academy that we provide to the student, and then looking forward, those things are also applied to the adults, not only kids and adults. So we have Jakarta area, we have Tangerang area as well, very soon. So stay tuned with Chakap for our latest blended learning course.
Would you say this would be the differentiation of Chakap, or is there any other feature that differentiate Chakap from other language applications out there?
All right. So other than the one that I have mentioned before, one of it is being certified. So
Okay.
having a course with Chakap, we have the certification which is recognized
Okay.
in the work or in the job field for the student who complete our courses. For example, I'm taking for an example of a Mandarin course of Chakap.
Yes.
If you're studying with Chakap, you can gain a certificate from
Wow.
Beijing,
Cool.
China.
Oh, all the way from China, like a official certification.
Yes, an
That's
official.
good.
So we are collaborating. That's the spirit of Chakap, collaborating with each other, even institution partners. So then, although you are learning it online, but you can gain the certification offline as equal as the one who are studying overseas.
Wow. Okay. Now, as you mentioned, all the areas that Chakap has covered, we would like to know more about the students. What type of students do you have in Chakap? I mean, age range, and what kind of work do they do? And can you introduce us to all of those students?
We're quite varied
Yep.
in terms of the student background. We have covered about 34 provinces across Indonesia.
Okay.
Wow.
4 more to go.
Wow, almost there.
Almost there.
And in accordance to the student age, we are quite ranging from the kids
Okay.
part from 4 years old to up to 12 years old. That's
Okay.
our kids range. But most of them, we have the majority of fresh graduate as well,
Okay.
and until professionals. But mostly fresh graduate range because
Yes.
there is in the path of looking for a job, career, right, and
Right.
career advancement. We have some professionals who are looking for career switching into our vocational skills because mentioned about vocational skills, we have some kind of specific until like a hydroponic,
Okay.
forklift. So yeah, towards whatever the top demand are requiring for.
What would you say is the most target group at the moment for Chakap students?
Yeah.
What are, pardon? What are
The group, the students' age.
Oh, the student
Yes.
age.
Yeah, the
so,
main target.
That's between the 20 plus to about 28 mid of, I think, the end of 30th. Yeah.
All right. And could you share with us what are the advantages of people learning languages through Cakap online learning? Because usually people would also prefer doing face-to-face, but of course, because of the pandemic, people are going online. But can you share with us what are the benefits of learning languages online?
Yeah.
Benefit of learning languages online through Cakap, because we are empowering the live engagement between the teacher and the tutor and the student.
Yes.
So you are being corrected from the pronunciation, from the spelling, from the grammar. So if you're learning one way, it's kind of a bit of difficult because you don't know whether the language that you speak is correct or not.
Yeah.
So once it's live, you are being corrected directly, and you can hear back or replay back the one that is being taught by the teacher.
Okay.
So that's much more easier, as I could say language is a habit. So the more you practice in a conversational based with a teacher or the tutor,
Yes.
it will be easier for you to learn that part. Yeah.
Great to know. So you mentioned about the teacher, or as you mentioned, tutor in Cakap. Now, can we know about the tutor background that you have? How many tutor are there at the moment in 2023? And are mostly Indonesian, or you got a global partnership with other tutor?
In total, we have more than 1,800 tutor and experts across languages and vocational skills.
Okay.
That's covered more than 11 countries for sure. So it depends on the needs of yours. But in order to maintain the quality of the tutors, we also provide Cakap Teacher Academy. We teach much more in terms of the digital literacy, in terms of pedagogy, to maintain an equal standard across Cakap delivery standards.
Yeah, I think that's a very tricky thing because you have so many teachers, thousands of teachers. Like, how do you make sure they all have a certain quality, a certain standard?
True.
Yeah. So you have those academy, did you say?
Yeah, we have our internal education team who are developing our own in-house Cakap Teacher Academy curriculum.
Okay. Wow.
And can you please share with us what are the challenges of online learning languages? Because you have this Cakap language all around Indonesia. I mean, connection must be one of the issue. Can you
Yes.
please share with us more?
Oh, okay. As in Cakap learning in terms of online, one of the challenges is basically one of our strength as well in terms of the customization, because we have to develop very fast to catch up with the demand of the career
Yes.
and the job demand skills, right, in the job field. So that's one of it. And the second one, in regards to the connection, we also have provided some of the local community to help us on site.
Yeah.
So then we also connect them, including the alumni program, to ensure that the courses delivered is not only pure one-way online to the student, but we stay them connect. Let's say we have assignment, etc., but coordinated with the local facilitator. We call them facilitator.
Facilitator. Okay. Okay. So you mentioned about the areas, the teacher and the students. Now, we would like to enter Cakap universe also, me and Luisa. So
Welcome.
how can we start? I mean, what is the methods or the steps to jump into Cakap and have a fast learning experience?
That's pretty easy. You can
Yeah.
just directly download our apps on Play Store or iOS.
Okay.
And then after you download, we have a several trial.
Okay.
You can have a placement test with us,
Okay.
special offer, and we have an English club. So you can try to experience somehow what so-called one-to-many program. Once you have determined or you have experienced that, we would recommend you to find a course which is in accordance to your interest and your passion and whatever you are keen in your career goal or purpose. And it will fit much more, and focusing much more on the platform that you intend to. I would recommend private if you want to
Okay.
keep up in a faster learning way.
So what language do you want to learn, Eda?
I want to learn Mandarin, of course.
Ah, you can learn from Cecile here.
Yes,
She
yes,
speaks
yes.
Mandarin.
Xin Mian Kuai Le. Of course. Okay. I'm curious to know more about the that is the online way. How about the private and offline meeting? Where do we meet? And the courses, how many months does it took until until I master one complete course? Yes.
Tough question.
Yes, of course. Be ambition about it. Yes. Be
We have
ambitious.
English. I would recommend we have the English in general, but we have English in the workplace as well, if you are keen to. But we have a very fast, I could say about 3 months or 6 months
Okay.
period course in accordance to your need. But you can directly do the placement test, so then you know your level of your languages level, and afterwards. You can enter into the level that you are keen into, and then go towards the 3 months or 6 months, depends on the teacher progress or the tutor progress as well.
Okay.
We provide the reporting, so then you can compare pre and post.
Yes.
Yeah, before
Before and
joining and
after,
after
yes.
joining the checkup. Yeah.
Cecil, perhaps for our audience who are wondering about Chakap and maybe they're interested to join, could you please share with us the price range of Chakap? Because as it was stated before, that Chakap is an affordable online learning.
Yeah, we have a range. Taking an average of the vocational until the languages, we have a range of 300k rupiah per lesson, per
Per
course.
lesson?
Per course.
Per course, I could say, because it's vocational one-way based, right?
Yes.
And afterwards, we have a few million courses IDR as well.
Okay.
Because as I mentioned, if it's private, then
It's more
much
expensive, yes,
Yes.
because it's one-on-one and customized, right? I'm sure there are so many other online learning applications out there. How does Chakap ensure that you are ahead of your competitors?
Yes.
What strategy do you use?
As what I've shared beforehand, we are focusing on the localization in accommodation to the needs of the student, and second is the content customization, because other than the customers as in the public students, we also provide to corporate.
Okay.
So in accordance to whatever the corporate goals or training needs, the training period, they can demand for only about 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. Even they are demanding for a hybrid learning course to their corporate, we also provide that. And other than that, the last one is a certification.
Yes.
All right.
3 months and 6 months, we get the certificate. Why not, Luisa?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Let's try Eda first. See how long it takes for him to master Mandarin.
I am the
because
case
I've been
study.
learning it my whole life, Eda.
Okay.
Mandarin is hard. Okay. So Chakap has been around since 2019, right? Could you share with us any success story that you have from the Chakap students?
Yeah.
Chakap as one of the Forbes Asia 100 to watch list by last year, and this year we are assigned as one of the startup delegate from Indonesia to G20 India.
Nice.
Representing, yes,
Congrats,
representing-
yes.
Thank you, representing Indonesia. And afterwards, we are also launching our social impact report for a few years commitment consecutively. And if, let's say, about achievement, we could say the impact that we bring towards our 3 million plus students, and
Yes.
we're looking forward to grow the number. It's one of the achievement that we could say, because the more impact, the more duplication that we apply through the system that we built for people to get employed, it's
Yes.
one of the satisfaction we could deliver as part of Nation Startup.
Yes, that is a great mission to make people employed. Yes, by learning language. Of course, 3 million plus students, and also 11 countries and 34 provinces. That is the milestone of Chakap from 2019 until 2023. Now, we would like to know, Luisa asked there about the success story of the students. We would like to know the failure stories from the founders. Can you share any of them, since you are the first, right? The first two-way online education apps, right? So is there any failure stories that you can mention here, you can share to us?
Failure, okay.
Yeah.
As in
The struggle that
the
you
struggles,
experienced in
yes.
the beginning of Chakap, perhaps.
Yeah, at the beginning, because the internet is not as high demand before. I could say back then in 2015,
Yeah.
2016, it's still pretty rare, and people are not really adapting to the online yet. But we could say contribute to the pandemic. It speed up the adaptation of people using online learning courses.
Okay.
as a catalyst, we could say, and people getting very fast within 1 year. Everyone is using the online learning platform. We are there before the pandemic. So we are ready. By 2019, we launched the Chakap application, much more easier and flexible learning. And afterwards, pandemic hits. That's where we come in.
Yes.
Yeah, and post-pandemic, this is where the blended learning is coming into the trend. So talking about the historical, a lot of hiccup as well.
Yeah.
We're starting from a few teachers, a few tutors back then, about 4 to 5 tutors,
Yes.
just connecting through the third-party platform.
Yeah.
And right now, we are building our in-house technology.
Isn't that amazing? Going from like
Yes.
4 to 5 tutors to how many students you have now? Was it
more than 3
more
million?
than-
3 million.
That's
But,
amazing.
Yeah, we are, because we know 3 million compared to the market, it's a pretty huge market that, yeah, we're looking forward to grow with.
Is there still a huge market to tap?
Yes, yes, precisely. Indonesia is a pretty big market. 3 million is nothing compared to the size of the population.
Yes.
Yeah, and in terms of the one that we are impacting, I mean, we bring the beneficiary, still a lot to go.
Okay.
A lot of things to learn to keep up with the our in-house development, not only from the curriculum, from teacher quality, teacher management, and experts. It's very challenging, but we are committed as an Indonesia startup.
Right.
All right. We forgot to ask you this, but
Yeah.
how many languages does Chakap offer?
Chakap offers 5 languages.
5 languages.
Indonesia
okay.
for expat, for
Okay.
sure. We have English, Mandarin, Korean, and Japanese.
Wow.
Why
Okay.
is it only focused on these 5 languages? I'm curious.
The same principle as the vocational skills that we provide, because that's a top demand in Indonesian market for sure. K-pop, Korea,
Yeah.
that's one of it. Japan,
Yes, K-pop, of course.
there are a number of worker being sent to Japan as well, right? So yeah, that's the top demand. We have defined at the moment, so we are focusing on that 5 languages in accordance to the other 17 categories of vocational skills that we have developed.
Alrighty. Lastly, Cecilia, thank you for talking with us for, I don't know, 30 minutes. That's great. Now, lastly, any messages to all the EduTech lovers talks or students or tutors that you would like to share as a Chief Operating Officer from Chakap?
In education sector,
Yes.
we are inviting all of the stakeholders, all of the audience, perhaps from here, to collaborate together with us as our
Great.
spirit to bring up more social impact to the student, to Indonesian society, so we can reduce the social economic, let's say, reduce the unemployability rate and
Yes.
increase the social economic empowerment for the nation. That's the mission of us, to keep elevating people's lives.
That's great. Wow.
closing.
We learned a
Yes.
lot about Chakap today, and we wish Chakap all the best.
Thank
We hope that you will get all 38 provinces very
Yes,
soon. 4 more
38.
provinces to go, and of course, together with Chakap, we hope that more Indonesians will be better and more successful in their
And more
life.
languages to cover.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So that's it, our talks for today on the Starting Point. Cecilia Ong as a Chief Operating Officer, Chakap. So thank you for being here with us on Starting Point. I'm Narendra Palaka.
And I'm Luisa Kusnandar. Thank you, and we'll see you again next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.